Welcome to Spring Boot Lectures. As you guys went through the Java, now let's go to Spring Boot. Coming to the definition, what is Spring Boot? It is a open source Java based framework that simplifies the development of production ready, standalone, highly customizable Spring applications. From the definition, we will get to know it is a Java based framework. It is a framework and also it simplifies the development and it is highly customizable. So now we will have the question, why a framework, right? Framework has lots of advantages. Now when you are building an application through just Java, it has so many features, but still you had to write so many boilerplate codes and other things. Whenever you are building an enterprise level application, you should only concentrate on business logic rather than concentrating on boilerplate loads, basic cross-cutting concerns such as security, logging, configurations, batch processing, scheduling. Framework also improves efficiency, consistency, productivity, scalability, maintenance, and also security. With this framework, our life as a Java developer becomes easy. Directly implementing all this through Java itself would take a hell lot of time and it also burns our peaceful mind. So that is why there is a framework development. Coming to the advantages, logging, security, dependency injection, scheduling, batch processing, all these are made easy through Spring Boot. And also it is called as frameworks of framework, meaning whenever there is a new library implementation, it will be possible through Spring Boot. So it is called as frameworks of framework. Next, we'll move on to features. What are the features that makes Spring Boot so efficient? Spring Boot has something called as inversion of control. In regular Java application, the flow is maintained from the application. So the object creation, destroying them, garbage collection, all these are function which is performed by the application. So the application will have control over the objects. Now in Spring Boot what we'll do, we'll tell the framework take our objects, control them and give us the object whenever we require. So we are giving the control to framework. Taking an example, if we have thousands of thousands of objects in a enterprise based application, we need to manually create the object, destroy them, garbage collect it. So it is a tedious job. So all these things are taken care by Spring Boot through inversion of control. This is achieved through dependency injection. Moving on to dependency injection, we will have to know something called as Java Bean. Java Bean is a reusable software component that follows specific conventions regarding its construction, properties, and behavior. We'll go to our Eclipse and see what is this Java Bean, right? So we have this basic student class. We will define some properties such as name, name of the student. We will define age of him, let int age. So Java Bean has a properties which are accessible through modifiers. So these modifiers are called as getters and setters. So in your computer, hit Alt Shift S and go to generate getter setters and select them. Now it also should have a constructor. We will generate a constructor. Java Bean should have a property which are accessible through only getters and setters, and properties are typically private and accessed through these getters and setters. It should have a default constructor with no arguments. This name property can only be accessed through getName and can only be set through setName. So this is a basic Java Bean. Next, moving on to dependency injection. We are creating these classes, right? We tell the Spring that these classes will be given to you, take them, and you provide us whenever we require. What it will do is it will create a reference graph and it will know. Now in example in the student we can also have something called as a student class, subject class. In the subject class we can have private string subject name, and this can be, you can also create getters setters and also the constructor required. Select all, generate. Now you will create a constructor through this. So now you have this subject. If you want to add one more property called as subject. Now in regular Java, what we used to do is we will do equal to new subject, right? Then only we can access the subject through the constructor. So if you have thousands, can you do all this? And if there is a relationship, can you do all this? Even if you can do this, in this scenario, the student is dependent on subject object. So whenever you want to create a student object, you need to have a subject object created already. So this leads to a tightly coupled system. Tightly coupled system will have dependency. Whenever you have some dependency and it is, so now you can't create a student object without subject. So this is depending on the subject object. So that is why we should go from tightly coupled to loosely coupled by injecting the objects whenever it is required. Meaning, whenever we want student without subject, we should be able to create it. Whenever we have a subject, let it come. Or else we are just concerned to create student object as a separate entity, subject object as a separate thing. So this is how the dependency injection is being made. You have many types of dependency injection, which is there, which is construction based, XML based, annotation based, Java configuration based. We will be looking into annotation based in our coming lectures. Now, coming to other features of Spring Boot, that is aspect oriented programming. You know that the boilerplate code is all this and all these get XML configurations which is there, and the basic cost cutting concerns such as security logging, configurations, batch processing, scheduling, all these methods should be handled. But as a developer, we don't have so much time. What we do is we group all these in a separate method and keep it. Whenever we are doing a transaction or we are performing some actions, we call this method to take care all of this cross-cutting concerns. So this is what is aspect oriented programming. Other features which is it is ability to create a web application through Spring MVC. It can easily be connected to database. If we are working in a Java, we know that we have something called as JDBC to connect with the database. So it is a tedious process, right? So the Java Spring Boot provides various libraries which will provide connection to the database, regardless of what it is, whether it is a SQL, MySQL, NoSQL, or Oracle. It has libraries for all these things. As we know, it can implement all these libraries through Spring Boot. It is called as frameworks of framework, as I already mentioned. One more important thing of doing all this is to test our code component based. Each piece of code should be tested by itself. So this method will also simplifies that. Next, we have something called as dependency injection, right? In that we have something called as interfaces to interfaces which are bean factory and application context. From this, we can all get the beans which are there in the system and use it. That's all in this lecture. We will continue the setup in the next lecture. Thank you. These are the features, advantages of Spring Boot. It also includes rapid application development, managing dependencies, auto configuration,